She entered without a sound. Nobody stood up. Nobody asked her name. And when they pulled her down, she didn't scream. But one of them, she pulled up. Alone. After that, silence grew louder than any scream, and nothing was ever the same again. The rubber soles of her sneakers barely made a sound as she crossed the threshold. The door creaked louder than her footsteps. Fluorescent lights hummed above like tired wasps. Heads turned, then dipped, then turned again, through her, around her, never quite at her. One girl glanced, then whispered something behind a cupped hand. A boy snorted through his nose. She moved like she knew she shouldn't be noticed. Slender frame, long sleeves pulled down past her wrists. She walked past a row of desks without a word. Her eyes never scanned the room, not even once. She just went straight to the last desk by the window. Sat. Still. The teacher didn't stop writing on the board. Didn't turn. No name. No gesture. Nothing. From her seat, the window offered only the brick wall of the next building. No sky. Just the muted red of yesterday's rain. She sat there anyway, bag on the floor, hands folded, quiet. A chair scraped behind her as someone shifted away. Another desk leg tapped twice. Subtle, deliberate. The girl next to her moved her things 2 inches over, then 2 more. Someone coughed with intention, laughter thin and short, like a leak of gas from a balloon. Then nothing. She didn't have a phone, or maybe she did but didn't take it out. Just a folded pack of printer paper, rubber banded, and a short pencil, the kind sharpened down to its ribs. She started to draw, quick and tight, her head bent low. Sharp lines, square corners, a maze. She shaded corners like shadows lived there. Her pencil scratched the paper like a nail on wood. A hand reached over. A snap. The paper crumpled in a fist. She didn't flinch. Didn't even blink. Just drew another. Same pattern. Smaller. A new path. At the next break, the hallway buzzed like a hive. She stepped out. Alone. Her steps were careful, one after the other, as if the floor might disappear. Just past the stairwell, 3 of them blocked her way. A girl in the center, her arms folded high on her chest. Boys on either side, leaning back like they weren't really involved. "You mute or what?" the girl said. The boys chuckled, heads tilted in tandem. Aisha didn't answer. She just looked at her. Eyes steady, not wide, not scared. Her breath was small, but even. Her shoulders didn't rise. A beat. 2. "You hear me?" the girl asked again, stepping closer. Aisha's eyes never left hers. She said nothing. Just blinked once, slow and deliberate like punctuation. They didn't touch her. Not this time. When she came back to the classroom, her bag was on the floor. Unzipped, the zipper hung open like a torn mouth. Pages spilled, one soaked through. Ink bled like veins across math problems and grocery lists. The lining was wet, cold. She crouched down, picked up each piece with 2 fingers. No expression, no rush. Someone near the door whispered something. A giggle behind the lockers. She didn't look. Every day she took the same route to school. Past the same alley, same bus stop, same bent fence where the ivy grew. Same worn sneakers, frayed at the tongue, same folded drawing in her pocket. She never took it out. Just touched it once, right before crossing the street. In class, stories formed. She could hear them. always behind her. She hit someone in her old school. Her mom's in jail. She's crazy. Whispers, just loud enough to reach her. Laughter that stopped when the teacher turned around. She watched the window. At night, something shook loose in her memory. A hallway, screams, someone calling out her name, then a hand on her wrist. She pulled, screamed once, then nothing. Just the sound of her own breath, the way it hit the wall and bounced back. A bell ringing, red lights in the corner of her eye, and silence. She sat on the floor that night, knees pulled close, paper on her lap. She wrote, "Dear Mom, I don't scream, because a scream is an invitation." She stared at it. Her fingers trembled slightly, but she didn't cry. She tore the letter slowly, one fold at a time. But she kept the pieces. The next day, they waited until the class emptied. She stayed seated, still scribbling faint lines in her notebook. The sound of a zipper, the shuffle of sneakers, then a grip on her hood. Sharp. "Where do you think you're going?" She didn't answer. She didn't move. Another tug. Her neck snapped slightly from the force. One of the boys laughed behind his phone. The red light blinked. She still didn't speak, just turned her head, just enough to see. The girl sneered. "Nothing to say?" Aisha stared at her. Just stared. And the boy's laugh caught in his throat like a dry cough. The bell rang. No one rushed. She stood slowly, shoulders low, pencil still in hand, and walked to her desk like nothing had happened. But something had. There was a weight in the air now. Not heavy, but present. Like the silence before thunder. A kind of waiting. At the edge of the room, someone turned to speak, then thought better of it. The teacher looked up, met her eyes, paused, then looked away. Aisha sat, folded her hands. The window stayed the same. The bricks still red, but the light just a little different. Softer, like something was shifting, just out of sight. And no one said a word. The mirror had dried water spots and a crack along the bottom corner like a trapped lightning bolt. Aisha stood in front of it, her chin tilted just enough to see the faint scar beneath. She ran her fingers over it once, then again. The fluorescent light buzzed above her, flickering slightly. Her breath, she dropped the cut fabric in the sink, turned on the faucet. Cold water rushed over her hands. She cupped it, splashed her face, and let it drip. Eyes open, motionless. The door behind her stayed closed. She waited for a knock. There wasn't one. Next morning, she was there before anyone else. Same desk, same seat. But her hoodie was gone, and the bruise on her cheek had started to yellow, blooming out in slow circles like a sunset in reverse. Her zipper was broken. She didn't fix it. She didn't lower her gaze when the first student walked in. Nor the second. She didn't move when the girl who'd pulled her hood stepped through the door. Their eyes met. Just for a second. Long enough for the girl to look away. 3 of them caught her outside the back gate. After school, near the dumpsters. She didn't flinch when they blocked her. Didn't speak. The taller boy shoved something into her jacket pocket. Something heavy, damp. She reached in, pulled out a dead mouse by its tail. Its body hung limp, its eyes like crushed beads. She turned, walked across the courtyard, into the building, up 2 flights, and placed it quietly on the windowsill of the teacher's lounge, then left. No note, no word, just that. At home, she sat by the window, The floor creaked when she shifted. Outside, sirens passed, muffled and slow. Inside, a radiator hissed like something alive. She closed her eyes and remembered the door being kicked open. Boots on linoleum. Her sister's scream. A thin arm being pulled too hard. Aisha had just stood there, holding a spoon frozen mid-stir. Her own body too still. Her mouth too silent. She never forgave herself, and she hadn't forgotten. Now, in the classroom, something shifted. The hallway buzzed like always. Voices overlapped, sneakers squeaked, lockers slammed. But when the girl tried to yank her sleeve again, same as before. Aisha didn't move away. She didn't yell, didn't shove. She just turned and grabbed the girl's wrist, not hard, but firm. Their eyes met. And this time, Aisha didn't look away. The hallway got quieter. The boys stopped laughing. The grip loosened. The girl stepped back. Aisha let go. The silence followed her into the classroom like smoke. She didn't go to the back. She walked up the aisle, past 3 empty seats, and took one at the front, right by the board. She opened her notebook, drew one line, then another. Her pencil whispered like wind against glass. Behind her, the girl from before sat 2 rows back, still like a statue trying not to be noticed. For 2 days, nothing happened. No names, no shoves, no whispers. Aisha didn't smile. Not really. But she drew again, more than before. A maze that spread across half the page. She added stairs, a door, a figure in the middle, tiny and alone. The pencil moved fast, steady. That day, she came back from lunch to find her classroom empty. At first, it seemed normal. Then a sound. The girl, alone, at the window. She turned. "You think you're better than us?" she asked. Aisha didn't answer. The girl stepped closer. "You think you scare me? Huh?" She was too close. Aisha stepped sideways, not back. The girl moved too fast, grabbed her arm, but this time Aisha moved too. Quick. A pivot. A shove. Not violent, but enough. The girl stumbled back, hit the doorframe, caught herself. Her mouth opened, but no words came. Outside, voices, students paused. A few saw, no one spoke. Aisha walked past them all. Quiet, measured, eyes forward, and she didn't sit this time. She stood by the door, where they used to stand, hands at her sides, pencil still in her grip. She didn't speak, didn't need to. No one laughed, no one whispered, not even the teacher. The girl didn't. The chair beside her scraped softly. Another girl sat down, said nothing, just set down her pencil case, unzipped it slowly, pulled out a pink gel pen and began tracing shapes on the corner of her notebook. Circles, clouds. Aisha didn't look over, but her hand slowed. For a few seconds, they drew at the same rhythm. Whispers returned in the hallways, but they'd changed shape. She's not crazy, she just doesn't say much. She doesn't even fight. She just looks at you, like she already knows what you're gonna do. It wasn't fear in their voices anymore. It was something else. A quiet curiosity. A strange kind of awe. During the 3rd period break, someone drew on the whiteboard. A thick black marker. Quick lines, rough corners. A maze. The same design Aisha had drawn in her book, over and over. When the teacher walked in, she paused. She looked at the board, then at Aisha, then at the rest of the room. and didn't erase it. At the end of the day, Aisha packed slowly. Her bag, dry, the pages, clean. She zipped it closed and saw it. A keychain, just a small one. A silver ring with a piece of braided string, green and black. No tag, no note. She looked around once, but no one met her eyes. Not on purpose. Not exactly. She didn't take it off. Didn't hide it either. The next morning, she took a different road to school. Not the alleyway with the cracked fence. Not the shortcut past the bins. She walked the longer way down the main street. Same sneakers, same pocket, but slower now. Halfway through, footsteps joined hers. Not loud, not rushed. A girl from her class, not a friend, not yet. She didn't speak, just matched Aisha's pace, step for step. They didn't look at each other, but they didn't stop. When the bell rang and the hallway swelled with noise, someone bumped Aisha's shoulder. She didn't turn. But the boy who did it mumbled something. Sorry, maybe, or maybe nothing at all. Another boy held the door open a second longer than needed. She stepped through. Her seat was still hers. The girl beside her slid her notebook to the side, making space. The teacher called out a question. Aisha didn't answer. But the room went quiet. Heads turned, not with mockery, but attention, like they were waiting, like they'd learned to listen for something that might not come in words. Aisha looked down, drew one line, two, and the class moved on. Later, in the corridor, the same corridor, she passed through the spot where they'd cornered her, where she used to slow down, tense her shoulders. Now she walked through it like open air. A boy leaned back against the wall, stepped aside before she reached him. Didn't smile, didn't speak. Just let her pass. She reached the door first, held it open behind her. The classroom smelled faintly of pencil shavings and disinfectant. Afternoon sun filtered through half-closed blinds, striping the floor with soft gold. Aisha walked to the board, picked up a marker, drew a small maze in the corner, turned back to the class, paused, then spoke. Just one sentence. Sometimes, to get out, you just have to stop them. No one laughed. No one moved. The room held its breath. And somewhere in the silence, music began to rise. Faint, like something remembered from a dream.